Hello, everybody, and welcome on in to the Gopherwatch League Season 5.5. This is some last final regular season action here for you between the Emma Skies and the Phiji Phrogs. Both these teams very competitive so far this season. Emma Skies being the perfect record 4-0, showing a bit some cracks in the armor those last few weeks, but the Phrogs making their comeback a little bit here, 3-1. I believe the playoff implications are pretty huge here for the Gold Division. If the Frogs are able to take this match 3-0 or 3-1, I believe they'll overtake the Emma Skies as number one seed in Gold Division and number two seed overall. So there's something to fight for here. And from what we saw last week with the Fiji Frogs taking a very dominant 3-0 win over Troubling Trout, they're a pretty good shot here. They have a lot of talent on this roster, and as I said on Boonies PN, holy crap, they actually tried. They look really good. The Emma Skies, like I said, two straight Mat 5s here. They did beat the Awesome Anglers and the Welsh Whales in those Mat 5s. So they're still bringing that clutch factor out. But we are seeing a bit of a new look for them here with Withering on the tank alongside Fancy, Akua switching over that DPS, no more for that Arisa this season, and Jack starting on the support line alongside a Resident, who we haven't seen too much of this season. But the Frogs, very standard lineup for them so far this season. But we did have a trade for them come through, in which we had LOL 24/7 come in here on the DPS role in exchange for Roodles and Cool Slime. So a new player for the Frogs roster here could be the final piece to their championship roster. We are be heading onto Oasis whenever we are ready to go here between these both squads. If you had to have probably a favorite here in this series, you would probably say the Emma Skies just for the consistency so far this season. But the Frogs look to be a very strong competitor here. Whalefish especially is a player to look out for on the Frogs. Of course, you have Slimy Girl 20, who is Frog, and Wags, but you do have Whalefish, who's just been putting on absolute dominant performances here the last couple weeks, especially on that Hanzo and Reaper guy on King's Row. So if the Skies lose this map, do not take him to King's Row. But starting off here on Oasis City Center, we're going to see what both these teams decide to play. When we look at the Emma Skies, we haven't seen too much comp flexibility from them so far, sticking mostly to that double shield kind of play style. It's worked out very well for them, but perhaps something different here with Wither moving over onto that tank role, which I believe he played on the St. Michael Hawks. So Fancy and Witherin having that duo synergy already built up. And we have a odd composition coming up from the Frogs, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it stick. It's going to be the Sigma and Roadhog comp, with Whalefish sticking over onto that Hanzo. We'll see if that actually is what we're going to run out here with that. Looks like we might. We are going to have the TP coming out from the MS guys, so they'll be at the point first. See what Akua substitute, probably that Echo or Tracer character. Akua very proficient at that character, but we do have Frog already being there at the post. But Jack is there as well, but Salami Girl 20 strikes early, and Frog asserts the Lucio death early here, as we have the Frogs taking some quick advantage in 3 early picks here for the Frogs. Dominant showing there. Fancy on the Diva could not eat that damage come through here from the Sigma and Roadhog composition. An excellent start here for the Fiji Frogs. Look at that ult charge build already. Wags already 65% to the Hog ultimate, and really nothing to speak of for the terms of the Emma Skies. Akua close to their ultimate with 56%. But holding it pretty close here is going to be the Fiji Frogs, looking to perhaps get an early pick. Gonna get to this Brawly style composition to move fast and move quick and not get spammed out by this damage of the Roadhog and Sigma. But we have a bit of a flank angle here coming from Wags and gets the hook onto Witherin. And there you have it. That's the power of this Wags Roadhog, what we saw the Season 4 champions Pompeii Pelicans whipping it back out here. And another pick here, 2 going down. The Fiji Frogs dominant so far in this opening map of Oasis City Center. Fancy demeched and will be staggered here out just a little bit. Next fight probably not occurring until around 60 or so percent. That could be very dangerous. Look at Frog on the center pillar, just being a nuisance right now. Looking for perhaps a boop when this next fight starts. Jack really not putting the performance we want to see from that main role of Jack, actually, on that main support. Known for that Mercy, more or less, but the Lucio is still very solid for him. We have 3 ults already on board for the Fiji Frogs. And speaking of Frogs, he's already in your backline looking for a boot, looking for some displacement. And Jack goes down early again here as Wags is on the flank with the whole Hog. We'll find Withering as well. The bob in from Fancy will get nothing but a remake, and Hanzo is in the center trying to get that kill. And Whalefish can find Akua, and this is just a dominant performance so far right now. The Frogs having all the answers to the exam, and absolutely nothing in response from the Emma Skies so far. We need to see some swaps or perhaps some changes, and Fancy can't get the red back off. It's last fight territory, and they might be down the Diva when it starts. We have the swap here from Withering over onto the Sigma to try to get something done here. Akua on the Cassidy as well. But the hook is already there from Wags. It brings Withering in, and Withering cannot stay alive. The Immortality Field is simply too late from Resident. And the Phrogs have that dragon split off. Resident going down, no Baptiste, and the hook again on HV6. Wags is showing up on this Roadhog right now. Fancy is not the only hog god in this lobby, has locked it, looking to take down Wags, but it's a 1v6 for Fancy, and he can't even touch the point at 100-0 start here for the Phiji Phrogs. Starting off, keeping that dominant form that we saw last week against a troubling Trout. We do have a cool stopping Overwatch. Perhaps we had a bit of a lag diff coming through for him on that last point, but I don't even think the lag was really too much to show because the entire team of the MS guys really had no answers for that entire round, it seemed. There was no adaptations aside from the last second swap from Withering over onto the Sigma, and you just look at the differences between, I won't point out the supports more or less. I mean, we have Resident with 1500 healing compared to Muffin 3500, and Wags, or sorry, but Slummy Girl 20, or aka Frog, is basically putting on a show on that Lucio character, having over triple the damage there of the Jack. So I don't love to see what we see in terms of adaptations from the MS guys on this point. This point is better probably for the Brawl if they want to play it. But I don't think you can really play the Brawl in this composition that's currently being run by the Phrogs. They just have too much spam damage, too many off-angle potential with the Sigma, with the Soldier, and with the Hanzo, and especially with the flanking Hog. There's really nothing you can do as a Reinhardt player, I should know, against this competition. And we see the swaps. We see Wags going over onto the Reinhardt. He's one that takes the man-on-man against Withering, and I've been on the receiving end of Wags Reinhardt, and it's so aggressive and so nasty. It could potentially spell doom here for the MS guys on our first map. And if we do see the Brawl working here for the Phiji Phrogs, you gotta really wonder where you go if you are the MS guys. This is where Fancy wants to be, though. On that Zarya, Fancy can pump out some tremendous damage on this character. They're looking for the Grab Dragon combo to win some fights for him here if they can get that to build up. We do have both teams going to opposite sides here. The left side for the Phiji Phrogs and the right side for the MS guys. Looking for the wall, but Wags goes down early. A good start here, but the wall is there. Withering goes down. Both Rhinos are traded out. So now it's a 1-1, but Fancy has way more damage here, and the Immortality Field is spent by Muffin Lumps, so nothing they can really do. They get the res as well from Jack. Fancy walking forward, high charge, walking into the face of the Reaper, forces Wellfish to retreat. And a pretty good fight start there for the MS guys. They cannot lose anybody out there as Wags already turns to the fight, so it's a 6v6. But the point has already flipped in favor of the MS guys. Akua getting that damage boost in the right room, looking to pump out some damage in the tank. Withering has Shatter already compared to Wags 45%. This could be the main tank difference we need to see. There is the window comes out, but low 44% found Resident already, so no Immortality Field is there. Withering goes down. Can't use the Shatter in time. And it's a very aggressive push. Muffin Lumps with a great early window shuts down this aggression, and Fancy gets blocked out from healing. A nice shield from Wags stops that high charge Zara from getting out their life. And Frog moving forward, charging in. Whalefish tries to get another pick. Not quite gonna get it. But Immortality Field has already been spent by Resident. They won't have for this next fight already. They gotta wait. This is where the difference of that Lucio compared to the Mercy comes in here for the MS guys. The Lucio is just allowing Wags to get into the backline so much more aggressively along this May and Reaper. So nothing they can really do. Withering had to find a Shatter here if they want any chance. Akua used that high noon to walk in, but the grab is different Fancy. That was going to use, but Nagina goes down. The Immortality Field is there, but not in time. It gets broken by Akua, and the 3K for HV Sec comes in. But you did use 4 ults for the MS guys. I don't think they're all very necessary. Jack will get Salami Boy and goes for a bit of the bagging on the Valkyrie there. But you only spend the Shatter if you are the Phiji Phrogs. Not exactly the worst fight in the world. You'll be able to re-engage with a Blizzard as well as a Reaper ult. There's nothing to eat this Reaper ult or the Blizzards. That can be very aggressive. This look for a speed on the tanks and try to isolate Fancy here. 8% on a bit of an off angle on the high ground. Trying to get anything down, but Nagina falling so low already for the fight even starts. Has to play slow here. They're looking for the re-engage, but here comes a Blizzard in the back, like he just gets chucked in there. The Shatter here, though, from Withering, knocks down 3 and smushes Whalefish. They do get frozen right in front of the window, but Jack gets the res. So now, it's again a 5v5 as Resident goes down, but Akua's already found Muffin Lump, so both Vaps are traded out here. The charge comes in from White, but gets punched by Fancy. The high noon is out from Akua. Gets something by quick shot. Ultimate for something's going to go down. And the MS Skies are going to stabilize on the point here off of a huge Shatter from Withering. to protect himself inside that blizzard. A nice play from the main tank, from the MS guys. And now look at 70% and counting, and you also have Grab Dragon again with no beat on the other side. This could be devastating here for the Phiji Phrogs if they have nothing to answer. This Fancy is looking for. Fancy not back to the fight yet though. No Lucio. They can't get there in time for the fight to break out. The wall is there, the withering, but the bubble's there. But here comes the grab. Right here comes the dragon. Can they break the Battalion Field? No, they can't. Oh, they can. They get 2 picks. The Baptiste and the Reinhardt both down. And HP Sec on this Hanzo, cleaning up the final blows. Gets 3 that fight. Jack will go down, frontlining on Mercy, but Fancy is there to clean up the final kills. And you're gonna have the MS guys taking University 138, and Knock and Withering gets 1 final shatter on the Wags. And I have to say, a stellar performance coming out there from the MS guys on a composition. Again, like we said, we haven't seen them play very much this season, but a great showing. They play in the Mercy with the Brawl composition, and they're playing more aggressive and getting more kills, surprisingly, compared to the Frog Lucio. Honestly, quite the shock there, but we have the comfort pick coming out here again for Wags, moving over onto that Roadhog. I'd love to see if that works out against the Brawl that we saw from the MS guys. Look to stay with it. The Pushins, a bit of a score update from both their games here. The Pushins are currently up 1-0, and the Trout have taken the first map against the Iceland Imps in their match. The Iceland Imps, another undefeated team in this league, but the Trout, big trades coming through this week, could spell doom for the Imps if they're not ready for it. But the Brawl against the Pope coming out here. But Whalefish strikes early, finds HP Sec. So a great start, and Wags on that flank will find Residence. The Baptiste out of fight. This is basically already over here for the MS guys, but they do get the charge in on the Whalefish. So perhaps turnable, but nah, I spoke a little too soon there. As Wags and Frog are in your backline, they're getting the melee kills. They're getting the boops. Just basically what you want to see between this duo here. And look at them. If you can spot that, Prod, we have the Wags and Frog duo in the spawn right now, looking for an early hook. He's gonna get in the Fancy, and they get the punish. They're gonna get out of there scot-free. They're trying to deny the res as Frog just hopping around, but can't quite get it. Frog has to get out of there, but they waste the res before the fighting really starts, before they get to the point. So I'd say a worthwhile trade, especially since Frog and Wags both got out their lives. Wags will have that whole hog here to perhaps displace some of the tanks here from this Brawl from the MS guys. Wags going on another flank mission here, just to get another hook, and not gonna hit anything in that cluster of 4. Wags just play this, but a flashbang comes through from Nakua, and they're gonna punish the hog. Wags will go down, but a strong high ground position is claimed here by the Phiji Frogs so far. They can't really get him off it, but who's gonna contest? It's gonna be Whalefish jumping down that point, but low 12/7 can't stop that Sigma damage coming through. Even top field is there, but Whalefish is just out of the range, and they are gonna get the quick flip. And there you go, get that punish onto Wags on that flank, and you're gonna get that fight win here. And he had to use no ultimates to do so. So a great look here for the MS guys, and Jack is going to use the Valkyrie to kill Salami Girl 20. Not really sure if that was very worth it, but maybe they were very low on health and had to get out. But you had to use your Valkyrie there, but you will still have 4 ults in this next fight if you are the MS guys. But a pretty strong ult mill up here for the Phiji Frogs as well. So we have to see which team uses their ults better. We are going to have that Dragon to perhaps clear the high ground as well as the whole hog to display, but here comes a huge so fancy for the air. Your top field is wasted. No real value gain of it, and Salami Girl is going to lay down that beep, and here comes HP Sec with the visor on that high ground. A lot of ultimate trade right now, but the MS guys still hold the space, still control this room, control his high ground. HP Sec gets booped off though, finally, but the shatter comes down. Gonna get Wags on the floor, but Whalefish is there with the Dragon, finds 2, but a cool response with the high noon. It's just trades back and forth right now, but the MS guys still hold the point, but Akua is flash fanning on the high ground and will take down Whalefish. So now it's just Fancy and Akua versus Wags, and that's not something they can do very often, as the MVP of last season strikes there with another MVP candidate the season before, might we add. Frog is there on the point right now, but it's already flipped, or hasn't actually flipped. It was still in favor of the Skies the whole time. Sort of building up towards that final fight here, and you use so many ultimates if you are the Phiji Frogs. Use your beat, window, visor, the whole hog, and the Dragon. You really only have this Flux to respond with, and they're gonna get Wags out early again. No, Wags will get flashed on the heel though, and collect the hook. Wags shut down. So that hog presence is no longer there for the point, and Fancy's chasing down Frog right now. Fun so low, Slumber go down. Whalefish will find Akua on the back end, but can Jack get the res? We'll wait and see how they go with that. go off the point, but HP Second is holding this high ground by himself right now. Forces out that immortality field early and gets it out of the fight. So great start for HP Second, finds Wolfish as well. They get the res onto Akua as well. HP with another pick. Akua, the DPS line for the Emma Skies, coming up huge here. Wags returns on the ball, but gets sent right back to spawn with the Valkyrie. And we have the Emma Skies taking our first map of Oasis. The adaptations were there. You could definitely see this brawl composition looks to be the answer. Now it's up to the Phrogs to respond. A great turnaround after the 100-0 stomping we saw in City Center from the Emma Skies. And now the Phrogs have to win the next 3 maps to overtake the Skies in the standings. If we have the Skies taking another map, they could even lose the series, and they will still be our #1 seed in the gold division. I mean, just look at that. Absolute god aimer there, just whipping around, flicking those right clicks everywhere. But I guess I want to point out, from what we saw in the score updates, the Imps are down 1-0. Interesting watch to keep our eyes on there. The Trout, of course, being number 9 in our most power rankings so far. Could be a pretty big upset. I'll let you know once I get more information. But we are heading into King's Row as our next map. And honestly, from what we saw in Oasis there on University as well as City Center, the brawl looking very strong for the Emma Skies. You know, we saw a lot of this double shield comp most of the way so far this season. But you put Fancy on that Zarya, and they're going to pump out some damage. And I mean, HP Second and Kua, very scary DPS line. Could potentially spell defeat for the Phrogs' chances of taking the gold division at the last moment. Now, the Phrogs, I believe, have nobody sub out because I think they traded 2 players, so I think they're down to 6 players. So we're sticking with this lineup for them. Could perhaps swap roles, but I want to point out though, King's Row. This is where Whalefish has rose and shown the last couple weeks on that Reaper guy especially. So this is the map you kind of want to go to if you are the Phrogs. It's probably your best shot. If you're going to keep your hopes alive on Hybrid, to go to King's Row. Been very dominant so far on the map so far this season. And we're going to see if there's any swaps here for the Emma Skies as well. We have Raspataz sitting over on that bench. Very dominant main support player so far this season. Very specialized kind of in that Brig role. But to see if they're going to stick them in here to play the Lucio for a brawl. But I mean, I will point out Resident though had a very solid map. Or the first map, I kind of point out how, you know, the stats were very much in favor of the Phiji Phrogs. But Resident coming out here on our last 2 points had a very solid showing, especially for the SR. It looks like we're going to have no swaps here for the Emma Skies. So it's going to be basically we're running it back here between both the Phrogs and the Skies of our Oasis compositions. Got the R's coming in from the Emma Skies. And we'll have to see what the Phiji Phrogs say next. But, you know, not what I expected, actually, because when we saw the composition on Oasis City Center from the Skies not work, I was like, oh no, have we seen their Kryptonite? You know, they're not playing their double shield, not playing that Sombra composition that they're very proficient at, or perhaps seeing some cracks in the armor, but then they whip out this brawl seemingly out of nowhere with Fancy on the Zarya and just say, okay, we'll see how you do with this. And they just run it down the Phrogs' throats, basically, and they can't do anything about it. No answers. On King's Row, the Phrogs are going to be on the defense first. Or actually, no, the Phrogs are going to be in the attack first, with Nagaina swapping over off that Sigma over onto the Zarya, which is not what we saw on Oasis at all. So perhaps Naga has a bit of a pocket Zar strat here, but Whalefish on that Reaper. That's why I keep your eyes on, chat, if you are not familiar with the Phiji Phrogs. Oh no, Jack has been sent to Lucio jail. Very sad. I spoke too soon. Naga swaps right back to the Sigma. Guess I like that more spam damage coming through. They'll let the Reaper guy do the damage up front. And Jack is going to swap over onto the Mercy off of that Lucio. I mean, we saw the Mercy work very well for this brawl on Oasis. Able to get that, able to get a big reses, as well as the the Valkyrie kills onto the Salami Girl to Salami Girl 20. Yeah, basically we're running back from what we saw on University on Oasis, and moving up here is going to be the Phiji Phrogs. Wags try to take some space here. The nice wall comes through, actually, from a level 24/7. They're going to find Resident and Withering both down. So great start from the Phrogs here after a huge wall from low. It's going to knock out 2. Wags will fall, but I think it's basically going to be good enough here. Akua will get rezzed up in the team, but the wall's there again from a level 24/7. A great start from the May here from the Phiji Phrogs. Find that value. Fancy is high charge, but I don't think they're going to walk in here. They're going to try to keep this charge for the chokehold. Look at Naga down. Fancy almost has grab, by the way, 90%. Almost has 2,000 damage, just keeping that high energy up, keeping that damage pumping, as Jack puts that beam on him as well. Almost having the Blizzard here charged up for the Phiji Phrogs, though. So this Blizzard could spell doom, considering we don't have a beat or a diva to stop this Blizzard dash from coming through, as well as the freeze. Looking for any movement for Fancy, has that grab, but the window gets pumped out early by Muffin Lumps, and here comes, oh, a nice wall! We'll stop, but the grab dragon is there, and we'll get 2 kills! And Withering swings on those who were able to get escape, but it does not matter, and Jack used the Valkyrie again and gets another bag in the Valkyrie form. So you use the grab dragon as well as the Valkyrie. You get 3 ults in exchange for your window. It's not the worst fight for the Phiji Phrogs, especially considering you have such a dominant time bank so far. 5 minutes right now and counting down. Wags will have the shatter, building up 20% more than Withering. Could have to slam down early here and set up the main tank difference, but we're not seeing it so far. The Blizzard gets chucked in here. Oh, we get the charge from Withering. Somehow will get the kill on, I won't get the kill, but yeah, they finally get Fancy down. They finally do. They stop the energy from building up here. And they don't have to invest a shatter there. Wag's very weak, but will get healed right up and built it towards Muffin Lump's next window. Muffin Lump's already towards another window. So you only win that fight with only a Blizzard. That's a great fight for the Phiji Phrogs. And they finally get Jack on the stagger, so it could be a bad omen. But you have one more fight here if you are the MS guys. Oh, they can punish Frog here. Nope, Frog will get out the flash from Akua. Can't quite find the kill. But I have another grab dragon here for the MS guys, building up very quickly. A lot of ults for both sides. I'm gonna look at these shatters here from both these teams. The shatter could spell doom for either of them very soon here. As this fight approaches the corner, the grab is dead. A shatter, it gets blocked up, and the window is there. But Whalefish in the backline. Whalefish with 4, a huge Reaper ult from Wags, or from Whalefish. My bad, Whalefish. Now I pointed out at the beginning of this map, Whalefish is the one to look out for on this Reaper guy. And goes in and finds for the grab dragon. Had no answer. The immortality field as well as the beat from Slimy Girl was good enough to keep the team up through that grab dragon. Akua tried with that flank and High Noon got 2, but wasn't enough as Whalefish got in the back and put the work in on the spin guy. And we have 5 minutes for point C here, but this is where most time banks go to die on King's Row. But a nice early window from Muffin Lumps will allow Wag to be very aggressive here, is walking forward. Withering still has the shatter, but a 3-man flux here from Naga slams him down. Oh, the charge from Withering finds Whalefish! A huge charge right out of the Wraith form, and Naga's gonna go down as well. As Fancy's just walking the cart and not allowing the progress to come through. So there you go. I mean, a nice aggressive push there from the Phrogs, but a great response from Fancy on the cart. High charge, walks in, doesn't allow the aggression to follow up. And I mean, Withering hits that huge charge onto Whalefish right after the flux goes down. Don't think Whalefish was really expecting that one. We'll have another Blizzard here, but another grab from Fancy's online. Both Rhines have shatter here, looking for Withering, tries to get something done. The shatter is there, lays down both tanks, so no real follow-up for the grab. Well, the Blizzard put down a little 24/7. We'll freeze them up right on the point. And we have HP second Jack in the back line. They're not going to get anything but staggered. But you have one of the support ultimates here for the Phiji Phrogs. You have the High Noon. Will it be enough as Withering swams over onto the Winston for the stall? The legendary stall Winston hops on the cart. Tries to get something done here. The High Noon from Akua is invested, still holding, still shouting, and not quite getting much there. The wall from LO 24/7 was there. Frog has found HP second in the back line. Akua goes down. That's 3 kills in favor of the Phiji Phrogs. And now the Dragon is put up from HP sec, but they can't really get anything. It's just the annoying moth on carts, but going down. And 3 minutes and 21 seconds in the time bank for the Phiji Phrogs as Whalefish, a celebratory Beyblade on cart. The Phrogs able to adjust well to the aggressive brawl of the MS guys, but the MS guys were able to drain that time bank quite a bit for a very dominant showing on the point A. They get down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but it's gonna be really hard to match that. Yeah, that's where we saw the difference of the Lucio, I believe, because it just Withering was able to, or Wags able to just walk on Withering, and Withering had no way to get out. Stay with Fancy. Once Fancy invested that bubble, was really invested in there, could not escape with the speed boost. So we might have to see that swap coming in, Jack. Not find that value on the Mercy we saw in Oasis. A lot harder when this map has less high ground to really take advantage of and fly to on your DPS. But they're sticking with this composition here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Akua on the Symmetra, actually. try to alleviate that lack of speed boost with some teleportation shenanigans in the back. See, I can't go in. See, you know, another adaptation for the MS guys we saw on Oasis. Their adaptation worked out very well, so perhaps another adaptation that could work in their favor. But this, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, says the Phrogs, and they're sticking with the same exact comp here. One shout out to LOL247, the new player on the squad, traded for it just a few days ago. I believe traded from the Ducks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, I don't know. But LOL247 having a great showing so far in their first match as a Phiji Frog. This May has been spectacular. The walls have been immaculate. And they are sticking with this TP strat, looking to get in the backline very early, very aggressive. Taking a little bit of space here is going to be the Phiji Frogs, not allowing the TP to really come through. Akua trying to look for the walls there from LOL247, but not going to isolate anybody. Frogs just trying to maintain this space, trying to maintain this brawl, but Akua is very charged, ready to go forward here, ready for this brawl. Fancy is going to find Wags, and with that Reinhardt out of the fight, it's going to be very hard for the Phiji Frogs to stabilize, as Fancy and Akua are both high charge, walking at you with a long range beam. LOL247 has no block, and Railfish has no Wraith. So they gotta retreat, perhaps gonna be 2 ticks here, but the TP is there, but broken immediately by the Frogs. They're gonna get these 2 ticks here, they're gonna re-engage here. Wags almost has Shatter. Could be a fight changer here. Wags has a Shatter, looking for it here. It goes down, but gets blocked by Wilson! Except Fancy does go down on the floor, and both supports are down for the MS guys. Railfish is in the back. I believe TP'd back in there. Will get punished for his aggression, but found 3 picks. That's what they needed. And Fancy might be able to get it here at the high charge mode, but the Buford Frog is there! And Fancy takes his own life with the right click on the floor. But Fancy will have the Graviton Surge here. HP sec 90% to the Dragon, but Resin's gonna go down early. Another nasty stagger here for the Phiji Frogs. They're playing this brawl very nicely on King's Road. This is their map. Well, look at it. We have Grab Dragon ready to go here. Slimy Girl 2000, or Slimy Girl 20, my bad. 96% to the beat, so they gotta go fast. They gotta move quickly. They're not gonna invest the Dragon here. They're not gonna get it. They get the Dragon out late, but the beat and Immortality are there. But wait, somehow gets caught in the Dragon. I believe we got caught in Hotel. Got caught in the Alderworth Hotel, and just, I mean, Alderworth Hotel, my bad. But he got caught in the door, not allowed to leave. He checked in, but didn't check out. And with Wags going down there, we do have the MS guys taking a nice, I believe 30 seconds is the only difference here, and Akua's gonna swap her onto the Vara. Okay, I actually like the swap here because Whalefish and LOL247 really are no hard hits game to deal with this Vara. Just give it to Muffin Lump's way to put on that pressure on Akua in the sky, especially with no Diva or anything as well from Naga. So, but I mean, Frog's going for him. Frog's going for the kill. They're gonna isolate Jack, but they can't get the kill. It's gonna find Muffin Lump's actually from the long range snipe from the high ground. So HBSec has a nice angle to shooting down main right now. Not letting get anything done. There goes Whalefish as well. So 2 down, 3 down here. The MS guys says, okay, we saw your attack. We're gonna do it just better here. Pushing forward is very aggressively is 4 members of the MS guys. Akua in the sky, Fancy on the floor. Nothing really found from this aggressive push other than a nice space gain. Withern will have this Shatter here, but they do have the Blizzard Flux combo for the Frogs. Might be looking to invest the early Blizzard here, especially with no Blizzard or anything in there. But here comes the Flux, but they're... Okay, just as ready for a buff, but nothing fell down. Naka's gonna find that kill on Immortality Field. So it's a stun fight. Here comes Whalefish in the back. It's 3. Oh, the Shatter is nice from Wither and Buzz. Nobody follow up. Gets 2 on the floor. But Jack just flying around in the sky, trying to get anything done on this Valkyrie. But might just get out with their life, and that might just be what you need. Are they gonna get a stagger? They don't know Jack's there. Oh no, they do. Whalefish sees Jack. Just chasing this Mercier. I mean, how is Jack still alive, by the way? Jack should not be alive right now. Jack gets out with their life, but Akua's gonna pay the ultimate price. They get your Mercier out, but what it cost you. And now Frog is in your back line looking for some kills, but it might get punished here. The grab is there. They solo grab Frog. So not that Lucio out of the fight here. They're gonna start moving forward here. Fancy. Well, towards that next Graviton Surge already. Very decent, but a very far away window from Muffin Lumps. And they're gonna punish LOL247 with a nice split Dragon there from HVSec. Wither's gonna fall. So Wags is in the point, but an early beat here from Frog. They're gonna go right back in here, and Whalefish walking forward with that beat, with that armor. With the extra health, they get the res on the Withering, but I don't think it's been nearly enough as Wags will go down, but don't this be maybe clutchable here as this is Whalefish and Frog on the point right now. Akua's gonna go down, and Whalefish is there. Now it's just a sad Reinhardt surrounded by a Soldier and a Reaper. Not where you want to be if you're Withering. And with 1:50 in this time bank remaining here, you have no ultimates yet for the MS guys. You might be able to build Shatter here early in this fight, but Wags will have one to respond, and Whalefish will have another Death Blossom. And we've seen about the average of 5 kills per Blossom so far this map, so it could be another fight win here for Whalefish. Frog and Whalefish going in the backline, looking to kill the Shatter from Wags! A nice play there from the Phiji Phrogs. Whalefish goes in the back, distracts the MS guys as Wags lays the hammer down up front. And you only use that Shatter to win that fight. But you didn't use anything if you are the MS guys. You still have this Shatter building up. Akua will have another... I, for some reason, can't think of Barrage. There you go. Fancy swaps over on to the Diva to try to stop Whalefish from gaining as much value as he is right now. Whalefish will be able to Wraith out, but won't have it for this fight as it starts to push out. Still has that Death Blossom. We could see a Flux Death Blossom combo from the Phiji Phrogs, but Akua is going to be looking for that Barrage from above. The Shatter comes down, knocked down two, both tanks, but here comes a Barrage, but it goes down. Nothing coming out of these ultimates here from Akua. As AP and Akua both down, both DPS are gone for the side of the MS guys. As Mufflage is on the high ground, Whalefish goes in and gets another two. Whalefish gets with the support line. And the Serpentary Flux onto Withering, slams him down Akua as well. And now Fancy is going to get staggered out on this Diva. It's looking pretty dire here for the MS guys right now. They get the rock, and the stagger is devastating onto Fancy. Finally gets put out of their misery. Akua with a desperation swap over onto the Doom Fist. Low 24/7 will have that visor as well as Muffin Lumps with the window. It's going to be pretty tough to break through here as you only have the Dragon. It's going to be an HP set to find a nice split Dragon to perhaps isolate a target for Withering to walk on here. Looking for the Dragon straight down main, trying to cover Whalefish. Has already found HP sec. Oh, but the trade! Okay, so it's a 1-for-1 here. And the MS guys are walking forward. They have the window and the beat. Both support also thrown down by the Phiji Phrogs. A charge from Wags onto Withering. The tower pin is not quite there. And the Shatter from Wags finds nothing but the stairs to the subway, but doesn't matter. The Phiji Phrogs are cleaning it up. Full 24/7 from this high ground perch. They'll do a look down. And finally going down is going to be Fancy. And we have the Phiji Phrogs. We have Wags trying to convince Akua that Shatter didn't happen, but I'm telling you, Wags, those pedestrians in the subway ain't going anywhere. HPSec will get to play the game. I'm guessing a pretty cool Grab Dragon, a very high skilled ability here. We're gonna see if it is. Yeah, oh yeah, show up, baby. Woo! Look at that skill coming through. 2 kills. Almost hit the Storm Mirror kill there, but wasn't enough to hold the aggression from the Phiji Phrogs right back. Phiji Phrogs 2 maps away from taking our #1 spot in the Gold Division. But if you are the MS guys, you just have to win 1 map here. It doesn't matter if you win or lose this series. You just have to win 1 more map, and you're good to go. We do have some score updates coming in from the other games right now as well. We do have the Pushins going up 2-0 in their series right now, and it's going to be 1-1 tied up. The Imps bring it back against the Troubling Trout. So a good series over there. Of course, once we finish up here, you can go watch them on the other Twitch streams that have been linked in the announcements. But of course, stay right here for the MS guys and the Phiji Phrogs until we're finished. We're going to see what map we're going to next. If you are the MS guys, where do you go? Do you probably go... It is going to be Escort. So you might want to go somewhere that isn't too entirely enticing for the brawl. So maybe a Route 66 could be your call. Allows you to play that double sniper kind of composition that I think you'd be very proficient at. HVSec on the Cassidy/Ash and Akua on that Hanzo. But then you got to deal with the Whalefish on the Hanzo as well and Wags on the Hog. But if you saw that brawl mirror, it was heavily in favor of the Phiji Phrogs on that map. Quite the turnaround from Oasis, especially on University. No real decisions coming through just yet for the MS guys. I wonder if we'll see a comp swap here with Raz on the bench. So maybe we'll see a cool swap over back over to that tank role, as well as Resident and Raz swatching places. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, the Phrogs are sticking with what's working right now. The Phrogs have no reason to switch. I mean, Whalefish keeps playing like this. Whalefish looking a very solid pick for match MVP so far. Of course, Slimy Girl 20 is ready to go as always. Always ready to lock the Frog and jump in your back line. I mean, I've really got nothing so far to say. Both these teams looking very solid right now. Both of them having great showings on both their respective maps. The Emma Skies on Oasis, especially, looking very, very good on their more brawly centric style. But the Phrogs come back in and respond. That's where you got to wonder: does Jack play the Mercy if they stick on this composition, this kind of lineup here, especially with the brawl? We saw just the aggression that Wags could do with Whalefish as well. With that Lucio speed boost, there's no way to retreat, forcing Fancy to go over to the Diva to try to alleviate some of that damage coming through from Whalefish and Wags, but just wasn't enough. Of course, if you're just joining us, there are playoff implications on the line here. If the Phiji Phrogs win this series 3-1 now, so if they win the next two maps, they will take the #1 spot in our gold division and the #2 seed overall in the league. But the MS Guys just win one map and win or lose the map 5, or win or lose the map 4/5, they will manage to take home the #2 seed and lock that in for the playoffs. But of course, they had their eyes set on the #1 seed, which I'm not sure if they can claim it aside from an Imps loss. They are tied 1-1 with the Troubling Trout right now, but the Penkara Pushians, not to be slept on either, could potentially slide into our Hopper Seeds here if the Frogs can perhaps make the Skies lose in a map 5 situation or something like that. We could see the Pushies moving up as well. And here come the swaps here. Fancy, Akua, Raz, Jack, HV, Witherin is going to be the lineup for the Emma Skies. This is what I've been seeing most of the season. Raz on that DPS role, playing mostly the Soldier from what I've seen. And Jack probably going to swap over to that Sombra character. HV and Witherin going to be the DPS line. Resident moved over to the bench. 07 Soldier. Fancy probably going to play in the Roadhog here because Roadhog is very good on Junkertown. A lot of flank routes to take, a lot of places to hide if you are a large Australian man in your own hometown. You can know the layout, you know the way to go. And the Frogs making no swaps, I believe they're ready to go. If we have the Wags versus Fancy Hog matchup again, I'll be very, very happy about that. Whalefish potentially on a Hanzo / a Widowmaker here. Very proficient on the sniper characters, so I think this map plays to both teams' kind of strengths here. Okay, I was getting a DM. I want to make sure it wasn't a scoring update, but no, it was just somebody sending me song lyrics. Yeah, Fancy being thirsty. I'm also Fancy. I'm also thirsty, but get that drinking, gamers. Akua's gonna restart the PC. Perhaps more ping issues popping up here. Yeah, going into Junkertown, I think we'll see more composition similar to what we saw on Oasis City Center, with the Hogs kind of banging at the center, as well as more of a sniper-heavy map here between Junkertown or Oasis and Kings Row. Long-range hit scan, long-range DPS, the snipers are the main difference here. And that's where Whalefish is going to probably become, again, that carry potential for the Phiji Phrogs on that Hanzo, what mostly known for. Not the Reaper guy, but actually the Hanzo. Be interesting to see if Salami Girl is actually going to lock the Lucio, or perhaps go over to that Baptiste that they're very proficient as well. Perhaps even the Brig. Would we be so lucky to see Salami Girl 220 lock the Brig? And of course, I don't know what I was going for there. Oh, yeah, Jack on the Sombra. Sombra very good on the Junkertown as well. There's a lot of places to hide your translocator so you don't get caught out. And Sombra, isn't it too devastated by snipers? Able to go invisible and walk in your back line for free, so you don't go worry too much about sight lines. It's apparently Akua's PC started smoking, so that's not exactly the best thing here for the MS guys. Hopefully the PC is able to survive here. I guess it's just too much hard gaming. Locking the Pharah. Akua is back in. We'll have to wait for the R's from both our squads. We have this guy's giving us the R. I'm sure Slummy Girl 20 is R, but are the rest of the Frogs ready to go? It's good to see also that Fancy is no longer thirsty. Got some hydration. I'll also do the same. That's some good stuff right there. We got the R's coming from the Frogs, who are going to be hanging in here to Junkertown for our map 3.
Welcome
Of course, if you're just joining us, it's the Emma Skies going up against the Phiji Phrogs in our battle for our #1 spot in our gold division and #2 in our playoff seedings. Will we see the Hog out from Fancy? I certainly hope, because I mean, Fancy playing the Sigma and the Zarya, you know, they're pretty fun to watch, but the Hog is certainly a treat for spectators all around. Not if you're in the lobby on the other team, or I'll even say if you're in the lobby on their team on a Fancy squad, because you hear the I literally have like 75,000 damage in 20 minutes. You know, the Fancy moment. Gotta stroke the ego a little bit there in the lobby. But it looks like a double shield coming out. No Hog, sadly, but we're gonna see the Fancy Sigma. So probably 80,000 damage per 10 minutes or something like that. Jack gonna go off the clip and swap over onto the Sombra. I'll bet $10 to anybody in chat. Going to go to Sombra. All right, who owes me $10? Who out there? You can put me smile in chat if you owe me $10. But anyway, my Venmo will be posted later. HVSec's gonna be on the Zenyatta, which is something we don't see very often from HVSec. HVSec more known for the Brig this season. So going for the double flex support meta we've seen Overwatch 2 a lot. More pokey style. The hack is there from Jack on the high ground. The pull, not gonna find anything. Will push flying pretty low here, so forced to back up and play a little safe. But the cart is still being pushed steadily forward here for the Phiji Phrogs. But HVSec's gonna start early with a nice pick. We got a P coming in here. Perhaps LOL 24/7 had a bit of an issue. Oh, Frog died. Yes, I do see that Slamming Girl 20 has 4% ult charge. So 0 damage and 0 healing done. That's pretty nice. Good stats so far for Slamming Girl 20. And yes, just what we need when we have solo caster. We just need more reasons for me to try to stall this. Muffin Lump's asking how's the weather, so I guess I'll respond. The weather is actually pretty nice today. I believe it was a high of 84 with a slightly high humidity, about 68% or so. There was a 15% chance of rain and showers, but that didn't get through. Want to know the forecast? I believe tomorrow is supposed to be somewhere in the low 90s, I think. A pretty hot day for us here in Minnesota. So if you do have the opportunity, go to the lake, enjoy some time outside, touch grass, gamers. And we got the R from Slimy Girl 20. So I will no longer have to stall. Please. Yes, both teams are R. So we're going against Slimy Girl 20. We'll be able to join the fray here, join the battle, but LO 24/7 will have to join them on the way out of spawn. Whalefish flying so low, but Whalefish just barely gets a bit of healing here. A stalwart high ground position here, high ground defense coming in, and Raz will find the pick on a Whalefish. The DPS diff coming from Raz, hot off the bench, all warmed up. No hurt risk here, no arthritis being built up so far. And just this high ground just so hard to take. As the Emma Skies holding very strong. Jack looking to go in the background yet again. Slimy Girl 20 will spot out for the Sombra, but can't quite get the kill. Jack able to retreat. Man, look at Slimy Girl 20 is in the backline right now. Slimy Girl 20 is trying to one-man army up there against the entirety. But Fancy has a flux early here, lifts 3 up in the air, slams down for the immortality field from Muffin Lumps. Is there in time of Slimy Girl 20 will find HVSec. So with those picks coming through and the flux now wasted from Fancy, looks like a pretty strong showing so far from the Phiji Phrogs on this attack. Now they have all 6 members of their team. The window is there from Witherin though, and the EMP comes through from Jack, but the Frogs just kind of walk away slowly. Will they be able to retreat with other lives intact? Yes, they will. The EMP will not get anything but Razmataz will find LOL 24/7 on the coastline, but here comes a little ult from both sides of Trance. There to counter, but Razmataz of the Soldiers 76 is popping off so far with 3 kills so far, 3 final blows, 3 big ones might we add, 2 with the visor. And Raz gets another pick here. And there I have the defense for this guy's gonna yet again stabilize, and Raz is walking forward. The confidence on this person right now. Raz is absolutely dominating on the legs. And the high ground is yet again able to be claimed here by the Emma Skies. And you have the Dragon here if you are the Phiji Phrogs, as well as the Tactical Visor. Could look to combo that with Naga's Gravitic Flux. HVSec 8% away though from that Transcend, so we'll have it for this Flux. And we'll be able to counter it there as well. So we could see an early Dragon out from Wags to clear, or from Whalefish to clear out the stairs, but Wags, speaking of Wags, gonna go down. They're gonna trade though, so Jack out of the fight. 70% to the EMP, can't build it up. Immortality Field, it has to be invested from Muffin Lumps, but Islamic Girl 20's gonna find Rev. Another Flux here from Fancy. Listen to this guy. And no, Immortality Field has stopped the damage coming through. 2 slam down kills from Fancy there. The Season 5 MVP, ladies and gentlemen. Showing up and showing out on the Sigma. Wags goes over on that Roadhog. Can't do more. And we have the Pushins going up 2-1, losing the last map. They were up 2-0. So losing their last map there, but still in control of the series. Looking for the hook. Wags will get rocked. So the dragon is there from Whalefish, but just barely able to escape. It's gonna be the Skies, the Flux in this air. As Fancy gets slammed down, but the trance is not enough healing there for HP Sec, so Fancy to go down. So that main tank, that tank presence there, Wags on the back line. We'll find HP Sec. The EMP is there, the projectors could turn around. A huge window as well as a supercharger. So much damage being put out. But they somehow stay alive inside the small little room. How is that possible? Now Raz just trying to escape with her legs. She can't do it. Oh my. That was a clutch heal from Muffin Lumps there on the Baptiste. So many low members after the EMP, after the window, after the supercharger. So much damage being thrown down by onto the Phiji Phrogs. But Muffin Lumps able to keep the team, and Jack cannot touch as Whalefish finds the Storm Arrow kill. And finally breaking through point A attack is going to be the Phiji Frog. The hook not going to find anything but Wags. But the high ground position yet again tries to get claimed here by the MS Guys, exactly where they want to be on this double shield composition. One step Razzmatazz on this flank angle. Razzmatazz so far this map has been the star of the show. Has the visor yet again, but Wags is looking to go in the back link for another hook here. Naga is going to go down for an HP Sec, and no Immortality Field as well from the Frogs. So probably going to slow down here, slow down your attack. The hook from Wags not going to find Jack. Raz still holding on to this visor, but oh, Bolt 24/7 just chucks down the rockets, the healed rockets from downtown. And the car's still making some decent progress here. The Frogs have not been impeded here. They're losing members in this fight. They're down quite a bit, but they're still pushing cart. They get about halfway through, and not going to find HP Sec on the back end of this. So once they get their members back, the Frogs can push early, get 2 kills here. As they start to go forward, Slumbergo 20 has the Transcendence as well. Whalefish will get rocked, but able to stay up alive. Muffin pumps down those grenades. But look at Slumbergo 20 is in the back line. Slumbergo 20 is running port, and Whalefish has the dragons. Slummy Boy, the Slummy Girl is in the back. Fancy will find Whalefish, but Akua is just sitting on Mega right now. Trying to 1v1 the Hog and is winning right now because just control of the Mega Pack. What is going on right now? Akua will finally go down. Jack can't quite touch the point, decides not to do so. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the time bank right now here on Junkertown, but Jack's gonna find Slumbergo 20 going up the stairs. Can't have anything in Detroit, especially your life. But Jack has the EMP there. Slumbergo 20 has the Transcendence to try to respond. But a lot of ulti builds for both these sides here, but the huge advantage here for the, I was about to say for the MS Guys, but they get an early pick out of Jack. And now Immortality Field enforced as well. Wags will get punished though for this aggressive push. But they are going to basically force the tanks off the high ground for now. And they'll push forward as Slummy Girl 20 walks up there and starts some downs on the Zenyatta, looking to get the kill, but Fancy's there with the Flux, lifts 2 into the air, slams him down, but the Transcendence is there to respond from Slummy Girl, but here comes Jack with the EMP, and the backline will get a 4-man EMP, and the Visor supercharger, a lot of ult been thrown here for the MS Guys, but they are going to stabilize on their defense. But you had to use 4 ults there. You have your support ults to work with, but you also have 4 ults, or 5 ults actually building up for the side of the Phiji Frogs. You'll have to play your ults accordingly here. Fancy over here on the Roadhog. No more Sigma shenanigans. The Wags versus Fancy Roadhog competition that I would want to see. Since Oasis, we had a bit for like 10 seconds, but wasn't very fair, I guess. Wags in the back looking to get a hook, but Wags can't find anything. Now Fancy has the hook, has the hack, and Wags cannot escape. Punished, so it's a 1-for-1 trade now so far, though. Phiji Frogs able to find Ramataz off that high ground. And a lot of ults still available, but Jack gets a hack on the Naga. Great hack. I'll touch down that Sigma. When Muffin Lumps hits their head on the propeller. Akua going kind of aggressive. Akua might get punished. Yeah, Akua gets punished and gets toned down. The window from Muffin Lumps, where is that window? I can't even see it. Oh, what the? There's past the carts. Who's going to use this one? Anyway, the trail sets out for HP sec there to stop Fancy from going down. We do have the hook from Wags on a Fancy. Both hogs taking a breather, hitting that vape. But the dragons will find HP sec. And here comes the slam down on a Fancy. The whole hog invests from Wags as well. A lot of ults being used. I mean, Raz is onto the Mei beneath my nose here. And gets sent back to spawn, and hopefully swaps back. I don't want to see the Mei or the double shield. Jack will have EMP here for the last fight. With him with the window as well. The hook will find nothing but a fortified Orisa here from Wags. Trying to get anything done as Wags pushes the spawn, but the EMP only hits one. It only hits Naga, but still get the hook on the Wags. Doesn't matter, Salami Girl is hacked up, but Whalefish gets a kill. Muffin Lumps and Voltor over 7. There's 4 kills here for the Phiji Phrogs, and they're gonna have beat here in 1 second here. The beat is gonna get thrown down there for all 5 members, and they're gonna push through in overtime. And that probably comes back to Jack's EMP not quite finding the value. Does get the EMP on to Naga, but they only get the push on to Wags, and Wags starts from the ball, comes back, but the DPS from the Phiji Phrogs able to get the picks in their favor. A nice window, a nice visor from Lol 24/7, and Whalefish on the traces being a nuisance in the back. But it's still a good defense here if you are the MS guys. He's got him down to overtime. And this is kind of a map where your Sombra and your double shield has the advantage from what we've seen so far. So we could see a very stellar time bank in response here. You just got to finish the map and you have another shot. Especially considering how good your A defense was. If you can get to extra rounds, you feel pretty darn good about your chances taking this one. If Jack plays the Bastion, I would be shocked. I'm not betting anyone $10 in this one though, because it is Jack, so I have no idea what that man's thinking about 23 hours out of the day. The other hour he's playing Sombra or Mercy. And Fancy gonna start on the Roadhog this time. I probably think he's gonna stick on that one. The Fancy Roadhog was putting in some work, especially on point C there. Raz sticking out for on that soldier, which did wonders. And a bunch of swaps coming through here for the... Get me off this team. Fancy is being forced to play the Roadhog. It's so sad. I mean, what is this comp we're seeing right now? We're seeing the Doomfist Sigma Roadhog. Okay. Yeah, Jack swapping off this Doomfist. Please don't play this. Goes over the Sombra.
And everyone.
And we're going to double shield coming out again for the Phiji Phrogs. Not opting to play the Roadhog here, Wags. But everything else staying prone to save Mother Lumps off the bat piece and over on to the Mercy to try to pocket up Whalefish here. Naga flying very weak here. Has to get your Toddy field set. Ability is out of the fight right now. As Jack walking in the backline, trying to get a hook, trying to get a hack. We'll get onto Wags. But nothing really coming as of it, except for the space here gain. And a nice hook on the Naga from Fancy there. Raz gets that punish. So with that Sigma out of the fight, the MS guy's gonna walk forward here. And they go for the res, and they're probably gonna get punched by the MF can't get the res off. And yeah, the picks are coming through very heavily in favor of the MS guys right now. Withering hit a pretty nice 8th nade as well there. Fancy can't quite get the hook on to Lol 24/7. The legs are just simply too elusive, but it does not matter. As look at the space being taken right now by the MS guys. This is where that Hog Sigma being very good at being aggressive and taking the space away from the double shield, not allowing the stand to come through. But the sleep is there, a huge sleep, and a huge Bakua slams them all onto the ground, and that's gonna be point A for the MS guys. And do we see Wag stick out as Orisa after the supercharger? The hack on the Muffin Lumps, are they going to be able to punish the Mercy? Can Muffin Lumps get out with their lives? There's no way to fly to. Muffin Lumps tries to whip the Glop, but nothing you can do. So that Roadhog in front of you. Aside from go to spawn. And the high ground is a gun claim by the MS guys, but this time on their attack. It's going to be really hard to push into this. Whalefish will have the dragon, so potentially using that to clear it might be the answer here. Wags will have that supercharger as well, walking forward. Withering is going to go for a flank anti-nade here, I think, sticking on the stairs, waiting for the push-up. But not doing anything. They're just going to nano Fancy, and Fancy's going to walk forward with the whole hog. The EMP is there as well. Fancy gets 2 kills. Fancy and Jack combining for 3 kills there. The EMP was massive. The nano whole hog was there to clean up the kills. Slumber Girl 20 is going to get that sleep on the Roadhog. But maybe he gets to kill the Jack. No, we'll force him out at least. Oh, but gets hooked back in. Slumber Girl's still alive. Slumber Girl! Somehow, Slumber Girl is now 1v1 in the Roadhog, and Fancy is in trouble. Fancy going down, but they can't touch the carts! Fancy was distracting just long enough. 5 minutes and 30 seconds in the time bank here for the MS guys. A dominant attack so far right now. Wags still has a supercharger. And this supercharger has to be big enough, but Akua's gonna get the kill on a solo Lumbergirl 20! And Wag's gonna go down as well! Raz will get punished, but there really is nothing you can do for the Phiji Phrogs. You gotta reset. You used your Valkyrie for nothing. The Atmos guy's going so aggressive here. They're gonna get another stagger kill. These staggers are huge for the Atmos guy's attack. And nicely played by them so far this half. Oh my god, this is great. This is their main roster, so you know we're seeing them showing up here. Jack would get another kill on Muffin. I mean, Muffin's got that res on a Whalefish, but there hasn't been a fight since point A here for the Phiji Phrogs. Oh, Whalefish will clock Raz from across the map. The three-man Flux is there, and they're gonna take down Whalefish and knock off the back of it. But they nano Muffin Lumps onto the Mercy with no Valkyrie. Muffin Lumps can't do anything but get rocked to get the fall on any damage. The dragon from Whalefish comes in onto the point. Will it catch anybody? No, it won't. It's just a support on the point. And here comes the visor from Raz. And wow, 5 minutes are going to be the time bank for their second round from the Emma Skies. Yeah, the Phrogs are going to have a pretty stellar attack round to alleviate this.
Initiating match.
I don't even know how you respond to that. That was... what adjustments need to be made, except for, I don't know, literally everything. The Emma Skies, a great showing in their attack. You know, Raz was a little quieter on this round than they were on the defense, but is that Fancy Nakua in the front line just being so aggressive, taking that space. Withering actually playing a more of an unorthodox pick of the Ana, getting pretty big value with those anti-nades, nothing to eat them aside for perhaps the shield or the kinetic grasp from Naga. And we're gonna have another pause coming through here
30 seconds.
from the side of the Phiji Phrogs. Please, man, I just want to go home. Why we gotta pause and wait so long between maps? Same. pAiGe talking to me through match chat, of course. Our producer pAiGe, shout out to pAiGe. Came out stepping up for the production so far today. But yeah, I really got nothing else. I've ran out of stall material because I've talked about the weather. I've talked to the weather. I've talked to the what have I also talked about? I've talked about the playoff implications. Thank you, pAiGe and Fancy, for both shouting me out in match chat. I don't I don't know that I do. Very childlike of him. No shit. Okay, I'm being shout out everywhere. Appreciate. The MS guys gave me 2 shout outs, so actually I'm pulling for them now to win this match. Unless the Phrogs respond with other ones, but no logo cast. Yeah, like Greg Mamil coming in for the cast. We're all good though. Is Whalefish gonna be playing the Reaper guy? That's something I could talk about. Playing the Reaper in the spawn could perhaps be the answer to the fancy Roadhog. Just put some pressure on them. We do have the... I mean, if you had this a very aggressive Reaper player in Whalefish, you could try to stall the tanks for pushing your backline so hard. Oh, is Jack going to actually play the Bastion here, though? Oh, no, they're going to play Sombra because they can swap instantly and be there in 2 seconds flat because Sombra is a well-designed character. But that aside, I do want to point out that Salami Girl 20 has a 6,000 damage on the support roll and 10,000 healing, so shout out to them. You know, they're having a pretty good map so far, but the MS guys all around are having a great map. Look at this battle for gold damage on this guys right now between the tanks line. We have 13,174 for Fancy and 13,138 for Akua. So come on, Jack and Raz, step it up. The tanks can carry you all the time. I mean, just look at Wags with 8,000 and you got Naga with 5,000. It's just the tanks are putting in a lot of work for this guy so far. Whalefish with 10k, but there's even no response here from the Phiji Phrogs to the Hog Sigma of the MS Skies right now. And HVSec kind of playing some mystery heroes, has been going back and forth, but sticking on the Zenyatta here in our first start of their defense. They do have a 1 minute to give here to the Phiji Phrogs, but 5 minutes and 9 seconds in their attack bank. They're feeling pretty darn good about themselves right now. tied 3-3, and we do have the R coming through for the Phiji Phrogs. So hopefully everything's been worked out, and Slime Girl 20 no longer has the ping issues that are perhaps hurting them on the last defense. Are coming up from both squads, so we are ready to hop in and ready to go. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. We're ready to go. pAiGe. pAiGe. There we go. We had to wake up producer up. They were getting, oh, they're getting a snack. I'm sorry. I thought you were sleeping because you're watching some double shield action in first person on the cast. But can I get some vouch for the Bastion character? Yeah, sure, man. We'll vouch for the Bastion for you. You got the official Booney stream, the official Booney solo cast seal of approval on the Bastion. Go ahead. You can play if you want. And if the team tells you can't play them, they're cringe. Uh-oh.
I'm out of here.
Someone called the MS guys and tell them they're cringe. Yeah, Fancy, of course, the 12-year-old in command of the MS guys right now tells them they can't play Bastion. That's a yikes from me, my guy. The swap coming here for the Phiji Phrogs who've been playing the Brawl. Tried to not allow any space being claimed. Look at Frog already looking for that boop off the high ground. Gonna get it on to Akua. Sent down, but the hack is there from Jack to respond. But the high ground is still held here by Fancy. And HP Sec but the teleportation on the high ground is there. But, I mean, Wags lost about 300 HP in about 2 seconds. Because of all the spam damage coming through. But they're getting this free cart push right now so far, so no real fight being taken from both squads. And the high ground is taken, but Jack's gonna go down. Slime Girl 20 is gonna get that kill. Frog, the Lucio Extraordinaire is gonna get that kill. They're gonna lock down Akua as well. There we go, the Brawl doing its work. They're walking down the enemies, but they're gonna get the hook on to Muffin Lost, but Fancy should play the Bastion. I'm saying the Bastion would have stopped this Brawl in its tracks. Jack was right. Jack was right. I don't know how to say it any louder. They're gonna have the window, and maybe a Flux, maybe a Sig 9 off the cart here for the MS guys. Will be what they need. Jack is on the cart right now. We'll go back. But I mean, the Brawl is getting set up here, ready to pounce on their enemy. But Fancy might know they're going for this lurk play and looking for a hook off the cart. Perhaps make the overtime timer go to 0. I mean, Jack is being a nuisance right now. Jack is stalling this cart as long as they possibly can. And gets out their life Jack like 2 HP. The Flux is there. The Sig 9 cannot happen. They're too low to the ground. But they get 2 picks early. And Fancy's in your backline. But the doors are closing on Fancy. No, he can't fight. But it does not matter. HP Sec has found the kills and the EMP is there. So point A is basically what you get if you are the Phiji Phrogs. Nice aggressive play there from Akua and Fancy and Jack to lock down that point. Didn't quite get the Sig 9 though, because they were kind of, right next to the card, even though they're up in the air.
Initiating match.
But I mean, it's doable if you're the Phiji Phrogs. You gave yourself a shot. It's gonna be very hard to hold 5 minutes on Junkertown, but it's Junkertown A, so one of the harder points to push. I'm trying my hardest to make him feel better, but it's gonna be really rough here. Especially if Fancy finally allows Jack to play Bastion. Someone give Fancy an apple juice, give him a nap, let him calm down a little bit, tell him to drop the ego, focus on the grind to FLA. Will Jack play the Bastion? Hopefully.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Gold on the payload, but doesn't fall in the cart when you move. It's super glued on. It's gorilla glued on to the point, I think. Because if you remember, see Nolo gets it. They're keeping me help. SOS. Please, someone help Raz. Did Fancy drop the ego and focus on the grind? Oh my god, they're playing Bastion. He dropped the ego. He's focused on the grind. but they're gonna isolate the tanks here, and they're gonna maybe punish Fancy. No, Fancy gonna get frozen. Fancy gonna go down. Get the ego back. Tell Jack to swap immediately. Gain the ego. Focus on the comp. FLA. But a very aggressive and nice hold here for the Phiji Phrogs. They're gonna get more staggers here. There we go. Nobody else is Withering, by the way. Withering is just alone over on the right coastline. How does nobody see them? Is anybody gonna look at Withering? Withering is getting so much value right now, just existing. Raz on the far Raz is in play right now. Trying to get anything done. Yes, the far Raz will find Muffin Lumps, and Fancy gets a hook. And Withering on this flank will get another nade kill. I mean, that's what happens when you don't look into Ana, and Withering's still able to throw the grenades in for free. Withering make sure to nade Fancy's corpse there to let him know, but Whalefish sent back, but did get 2 picks. So not the end of the world, but now Jack is on the mission of a lifetime. Mission impossible. Locking the Bastion. I mean, nobody told him they could. But on this flank, will they know he's there? It's gonna be pretty hard to deal with the far Raz in the sky here. This Brawl comes just to lull 24/7 to really shut that down, or perhaps for Wags to get a hook, swapping over on the Roadhog. Not gonna get that hook. Goes fishing, wasn't finding anything. No, I'm an awesome angler. Yeah, Fancy and Raz are holding this off angle right now by themselves. Jack up on the hang here. Oh, but you did get the sleep on the Whalefish. And Raz, the sniper from way downtown, will get the kill. But you already lost your Ana. So a good trade here for the Phiji Phrogs, and now 2 more kills in favor. And Akua used the Flux pretty late here in the fight. I don't think he can turn this. We'll find Muffin Lumps. The tanks are still up though. Fancy's gonna find that little 24/7. So perhaps turnable. Maybe I spoke too soon. As Akua, it's the Hog Sigma's fighting on cart right now. This is incredible, but Fancy just knocks Wags off the point, off the map with the whole Hog. Nano was there from Withers on Fancy with 3 kills to open it up. And Jack on the Bastion on that flank angle will get the kill. And yeah, 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining to go, about a total of 17 meters. Might be pretty rough for the defense for the Phiji Phrogs, but hey, anything's possible. You're only going into a barrage and transcendence, you know. Two very mediocre alts, very mid alts. Jack is on this off angle, by the way, holding down the Mega Room, ready for anybody to drop down a cart. The Whalefish going down early, not a great start here. Nagi, will use that Gravitic Flux blocks. HP Sec in the sky, but HP Sec has a transcendence and keeps himself alive here. The beat is thrown in, but the Whalefish, or from the Withering, gets in that nice anti-nade. Raz forced to retreat for now, but Raz gets the fadeaway shot on the Asquatch. Looking like LeBron James out there, the Michael Jordan fadeaway, and there you have it.
Victory.
The Emma Skies had claimed their second map, and therefore had claimed the top seed in the Gold Division. So it doesn't matter what happens on the next 2 maps, because, yeah, they're basically set for number 2 seed right now, I believe. Unless a miracle happens. This is a really big flux here from Akua to open up point A. He do be flying around though. And plus he's using the best Sigma skin, so he's already a huge buff for him right there. 18,000 damage, able to steal the gold damage away from Fancy. Sadly, Fancy cannot brag in the team chat that they had gold damage. Very upsetting for them, I'm sure. Just see if they can come back mentally in our next map. But now going in, we might see a 2 CP, or perhaps a veto, onto another hybrid, which we saw the Emma Skies get dominated on King's Row, but that was probably the best map for the Phiji Phrogs. So hey, it's now 2-2 right now for the Pushins. The Pushins might be getting reverse swept here, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot who they're facing right now. I believe it is let me check here. They're facing the OTs. So getting reverse swept by the OTs, I don't believe it hurts their chances of the playoffs or their standings at all. Would just be Sag. I guess. There really no other implications are than Sag. Yeah, great map. Great showing from both those teams apparently over there on that map, on that series. I'll give you permission if you want to go check it out on the Purple Jesus stream. If you want to go see the map 5, I'll give you permission, chat. The playoff implications are gone in this match already. So really nothing to gain of it other than for fun and bragging rights. So you can go watch map 5, but you can come back. I'm sure we'll be here because the Phrogs will pause 3 more times while we're here. You got nowhere else to be. Now, if you are the Phiji Phrogs, do you go to 2CP or do you veto? I believe the Phrogs will probably try to veto. Oh, they don't veto. Interesting. I didn't see that coming. So we are going to be going to a 2CP map. Now, which one do you even go to? Because you probably don't go to Volskaya because it's very good for the composition run by the skies. Do you go to Hanamura? Play a brawly style there? Try to alleviate the fancy hog value? Anubis is going to be the pick to go to. If I'm not mistaken, they won the last time they played Anubis against the Chicago Cats. Or they lose that one. I don't know. That game went to map 5. That's all I know. Wow, it's almost as if we did prepare for this with scrims. I roll. Wow, Jack is mad. Jack plays Sombra and Bastion and dares to complain about anything in the game. Interesting. So we're going to top of Anubis. Do we see... I think we probably see a more of a diving composition because last time we saw them play this, Wags on that Winston and Salami Girl was on the Ana. So I think we're seeing a dive here with Whalefish potentially on the Tracer. Could be a different thing we've seen from them so far today. MS guys probably run the same exact thing, which I don't blame them. Phrogs are R. And the MS guys have yet to give us an R. Perhaps looking for some ways to get Resonant back in the game. Not sure. They are going to give us the R. So both teams sticking with what they had last map. And if you're the Phrogs, you got some sweat in your brow right now because you got kind of domed. Kind of domed on Junkertown, but
Now
could be different here in Anubis. This is your map.
initiating match.
Your map choice. I'm also getting a very weird glitch in Overwatch. I get to press 0x0000000 for more options. So if everybody knows where to find that key on my keyboard, please let me know. I'm very concerned. But the Phrogs will start on the attack here. Probably, let's see. I'll bet everybody 10 channel points that Wags goes onto the Winston. Who owes me 10 channel points? Who owes me 10 channel points? But yeah, I don't know. Whalefish on the Hanzo is interesting, especially for a dive composition. But a little 12/7, we'll take up the Tracer role. So you're probably looking for a damage boosted Whalefish on the high ground, while Wags happens in the back line with LOL 24/7, and then Salami Girl chucks in the nades from downtown. You're not expecting to play the Diva or anything like that, so the nades could be some pretty big value from them. But Jack is going to be playing the Spara this time, and not the Sombra.
5, 4.
H3 is demanding a Torbjorn,
Attackers incoming.
and Raz is shutting it down. Very sad. Raz is actually a pretty mean person if you know them IRL. They're so aggressive and so mean to everybody they know. This is a complete fabrication and complete lie. Do not believe me. But looking for a pick here is going to be Whalefish chucking those arrows on the high ground, chucking the logs down, trying to get a headshot perhaps, but for Whalefish to jump in, or for Wags to jump in. I'm going to set up Wags will get antied, so can't quite go in just as of yet, but tank line for the MS guys is antied, but it doesn't matter because there's trading those back and forth. I mean, no real dive coming through so far right now. Naga's getting hooked in, so a forced dive basically by Fancy. To sleep in on Naga, not gonna find anything. They're just standing there menacingly right now. We are about 45 seconds in the game, and they haven't made a single attempt at a dive. There we go, finally going here. They get the nano already, though. Wags has that nano, but gets rocked immediately out of it. But they're gonna find Raz, so a good start here for the Phiji Phrogs here. Boom that nano for a reason as Wags goes in hyper-aggressively here. They're gonna find 2 kills after 64 on the points. So, hey, if the slow play works for you, it's gonna work. Nicely done. H3 gonna get punished as well. Bit opposition. Naga going very aggressive in the back line there, trying to find Akua. The sleep is there, but Whalefish will get hooked there. So it's a 3v4 on the point. Perhaps winnable here. The sleep on a fancy, they get the nano, but he's stuck to the point! He can touch! Where's Kato when you need him? They use whole log too! Okay. I need all C9 LOL exclamation points in chat, please. Kaden, we missed you. But
See through the dragon.
a great opening there for the Phiji Phrogs. Now I was kind of questioning whether they're sitting there, but I didn't even notice Slimy Girl 20's ult charge. Speaking of Slimy Girl 20's ult charge, gets the kill on the Jack. Little mother on daughter violence there. We do not condone that on this channel, but the dive looking to get set up here, looking to move in. Slimy Girl is 70% to already to another nano. Whalefish will have that dragon, but the hook is there on the level 24/7. The sleep can't quite find anything. And the flux comes in from Akua. It's a nice one on both tanks and slams them down. And there you go. It all starts with that nice fancy hook onto level 12/7. But you don't use any ults if you're the Phiji Phrogs. And you have 5 here. Or maybe you have 6 when Naga gets their mech back. I'm not exactly quite sure. Naga 80%. So you will basically have 6 ults to... You have a 6-pack over the boys. Of course, it is Saturday, so it is for the boys. But 3 ults for the defense could be devastating if they're able to stop the Jack Barrage. I could see this attack going very well here on this next run. A nano onto Wags in the back going with that problem Rage. Oh my. As a tank main, I'm salivating at thought. And Jack goes down. And they're going to deny the res as well by going hyper aggressive in there. Can HV get this res? They don't know he's there. Yes, HV drops down and goes for the res. Will get it and get out the lives. And Jack is able to get the barrage in the backline off that res. Fancy is going to go down, however. So that huge tank presence there, and now Wag just beating Withering into a corner with his bare hands. And the Jack will find Naga. The Whalefish will find 2 here off the back, but we'll find a 3rd. Whalefish, can they punish HP Sec as well for that flight? Yes, they will. Fancy will find Whalefish, but a tick is gained. They kill Jack, and now it's just Fancy on the Wrecking Ball on the point right now. Can they stop this Wrecking Ball from being a nuisance? 2 picks gained. Here comes the tactical advice from low 12/7, and high ground is given to him by Akua, but will make up for it by getting the final blow. And they get the res, so I think we do have the MS Sky stabilizing here on the defense. They get the res, but they lose the mech, and yeah, that one's gonna be over. But a lot of swaps had to come through here for the MS guys on the defense, so no real ult to speak of, but you did use all 5 of your ultimates or all 6 of your ultimates if for the Phiji Phrogs, so perhaps you can build another nano boost very quickly. Here's Slime McBuild 20 has been doing that very effectively this game. But also a quick scoring update. The Pushins did beat the OTs in a 3-2 in map 5, and I believe that claims the number 2 seed for the Prankara Pushins in the Maroon Division going into our playoffs, so... I don't have any updates. Or I do have an update in the Imps game. I'll get to that after this fight. Fancy goes sleeped. Yes, sleeped is a word, but gets slept in the back line. And Jack's gonna find 2. The 2 focus on the Wrecking Ball in the back, and Jack just chucking down the rockets in the back line. Gets a 3rd there as well. And yeah, the very aggressive defense coming out from the MS guys is working wonders as Raz has sold her onto the Reaper. I don't know when that happened. Probably the stall. And Naga get knocked out on mech. Naga won't have that mech here. Gonna have to go swap and lose that progress towards their bomb. They do have another nano here though. They do have a front bridge as well. So nano wasn't in your backline. Naga's gonna go to Wrecking Ball. Okay, back to Diva. But 4 ults here for the MS guys on this defense. It's gonna be pretty hard to break this. Unless you get a miracle pick from Whalefish, I think this defense will probably hold them here and not give them their last tick. Again, given a miracle. But yeah, the miracle is maybe happening as they get 2 kills here. The Pharmacist is out of the sky. And the Primal is in the back. They do Nano Rapitas on the Reaper. A Nano Reaper guy. Very scary right now, but they find Withering on a kill. The Flux from Akua lifts 2 into the air. The slams right back down, but no kills coming out of it. You know, I said a miracle was needed, and a miracle might have just been granted to the Phiji Phrogs. Buffaloes will die to the mines. Will Akua get punished? Fancy going down now. Just Withering on the point, on the Lucio, on the Frog, trying to get anything done. To sleep on a Jack in the backline. Jack can't do anything on Tracer. Can't quite cut there. Withering going down. The Lucio's not there. Akua gets killed away. Flips out the 2 before the point. Withering Taz on the Reaper. Has the Reaper off. Gets 2 Razmataz. We'll clean it all up. A bit of Razmataz on the end of that.
60
A
seconds.
great, nice 7.2%.
Good choice.
I thought that sleep on to Jack was going to be the end of it, but a clutch there from Razmataz. So I suppose I did promise that I'll give that quick scoring update for the Imps game. It's going to be a 3-1 victory for the Iceland Imps over the Troubling Trout, claiming the undefeated season and #1 spot in the Maroon Division for our playoffs. The Trout, with their new roster course, doing some trades, so these are showing for them after their limited practice time, taking a map out the Imps. So going back into our game that we do have right now, Wags walking forward, low 12/7 has a tactical visor, could look to use it, but a nice anti-nade onto the tanks.
is going to nick Naga out of that mech, and here comes these tactical hits from Bull 24/7. Will they get anything out of it? No, they're spaced accordingly here. The MS guys not giving any sightlines to the soldier, and 2 early picks for the MS guys on this defense. Jack is in your back line. He has the Mercy Pocket, and he's getting the kills. I mean, they lose a couple here, but the Spider Edge is just simply going to be too strong here on the 2CP. Wise cannot quite touch the point, had to get the Mega. And 97.2% is where the Phrogs are going to have to hold him down to.
0 to 1. Switching sides.
If you're the MS guys, I almost wonder if you just go to Sombra again and you just try to build some EMPs to try to get some basically free caps. I mean, you only need theoretically 5 EMPs to claim all 5 ticks you need, but I think 1 or 2 would probably suffice good enough. And Jack builds up very efficiently, very quickly, so we might be heading to our match ending here. But the Phrogs, of course, had the chance to hold. I believe this is very similar to the game against the Cats. Could be mistaken, but I think the Cats held them before they full held, and then they just couldn't quite get the final tick on their attacks. Maybe the Phrogs are a defensive team with their composition, which is what we saw with the Naga Sigma. More defensive than perhaps the Diva. And Wise can go over to Roadhog. So, yep, here comes the Sigma Hog. Very defensive heavy for this attack. Very flank heavy as well. But Salami Girl 20 is going to be on the Lucio this time rather than the Ana. Or the Baptiste. Bubblebump's taking that mental up here. Jack probably not sticking on this Bastion. Fancy probably yelling at him to swap immediately. Because this game is very serious, ladies and gentlemen. It's very serious. We need full concentration here.
2 1.
And Jack's gonna go over to the Echo here. The Echo Mercy in the sky. And that could be pretty good here. Low 12/7 love to basically deal that by themselves unless Wise can hit a nice hook. Pretty aggressive spaced creation here from Akua right now. Fancy gets on the Wrecking Ball, goes to the backline, but they do notice the Wrecking Ball is there. They kind of spot him out and fight him there. Goes in for perhaps the slam, gets a 4-man slam there from Fancy, but no real follow-up from the MS guys. But his base is being taken here by the MS guys, and Wag is isolated and beamed down by Jack. They're going to trade 1 for 1 here, so not quite the end of the world for the Phiji Phrogs. They did the res on a Jack, though, but Akua might be isolated here. They're taken early by a huge anti-hit on the back. Will get both the DPS for the Phiji Frog, but an immortality from Muscle Lumps keeps them both alive here and all healed up. They're going to get that trade. They're on a Raz as well. So it's a 5v5 on the point right now as Wags just returned to the fight. The slam from Fancy is there. Knocks 4 up in the sky. Fancy being very proficient on being annoying here. We'll find 2. Fancy in the Wrecking Ball. Fancy and Akua on the point. We hit the final blow of that kill feed. Salami Girl returns to the point, but only got 1 kill on Jack, and it's going to be runs up by HP second immediately. A good Discord kitten never lets her daddy die. But Salami Boy has to run around. Salami Girl is getting beamed down, but Salami Girl still alive. Salami Girl 20. Trying to get back to the point perhaps for a last second contest. They're gonna give it up. They're gonna fight for 97.2% on point B. Frog is still alive in the background right now, but they're ignoring him. They're running the point. They're saying, okay, you're back there. Okay, we'll go. Wags is also back here. Wags and Frog are on the back line, but the hook on HP Sec is good. With that Mercy out of fight, I see it's going to be pretty darn hard to take this here. But you do get the push onto Wags, so you could walk forward. You have your tank ults, as well as your duplicate and your support ults. You must give everything here if the MS guys, and you don't need the full cap. But losing... I mean, there's trading 1 for 1 right now, but the defense, you're going to take that every day of the week. They're getting no point progress, and you're getting your close spawns. And the Span damage is coming through. I know they do get the res, but they won't have for this next fight. We're going to have basically 12 ults coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. This could be an absolute thing that would get me fired. I can't say that, but go over into the left room is going to be the MS guys to get the beam on Naga, so Naga can't build the flux in time. Willfish uses the dragon, looking to split them off here. It's 1 for 1 trade. A lot of ults being thrown in here right now. Wolves 147 can't quite get the value out of the visor that they want, but Willfish finds 3 kills here. Willfish is popping off. Willfish on this off angle. Can they protect him from not getting a single take? HP Sec finds 2 kills though. HP Sec going huge in the back line. The Flux will only find Fancy, but Fancy's gonna die off of it. Just under half HP. Not sure that Flux was necessarily entirely worth it, but kind of a panic moment right there because you had HP Sec find 2 players of your team. No ticks given here for the Phiji Phrogs. The MS guys will have 2 ultimates left here, but you use 4 of them and get nothing really. And you have the window and the hull hog from the Phiji Phrogs. So the Echo ultimate is invested here before the fight really begins, and Jack's gonna get hooked in. And Jack just loses the duplicate immediately, so that your one of your two ultimates was just wasted right there. Your team wasn't even there to follow you up. Perhaps he got hooked in or something. I'm not sure. Wugs actually forced that out. The Frog is in your backline, being very aggressive right now. Raz takes him out, looks for this visor, couldn't get Naga down. Naga has the eat, Immortality there as well. Rampataz behind the shield. Can't quite get the kill, but the window's just simply too good from Muffin Lumps. It allows Naga just chuck the spheres through, the hyperbolic spheres right through that window and get the picks. They get the pick onto one of them and get the res on a Witherin. So they're not done just as of yet, perhaps, if you are the MS guy, but Lil 24/7 is cleaning up the kill feed, gets the Echo and Mercy out of the sky. And Salami Boy 20, or Salami Girl 20, I'm sorry, this guy has way too many ult accounts, but Salami Girl 20 gets hooked by Fancy and will pay for the aggression. But there just simply is no response right now. 2 minutes and 48 seconds in the time bank right now. You do have 4 ults coming up for the MS guys, but you have nearly 5 online for the defense. One of them being that beat, which could stabilize them on this defense if anything goes wrong, but Phiji Phrogs looking pretty stellar so far. Fancy can't quite hit the hook. And they're gonna find Jack again here. They're probably gonna get their res off here from HVSec, going for that res. It looks like they're gonna get off on the hook on the Wags from Fancy, trying to punish that res, but there's no real response here. They have both DPS ults. Here comes the dragon out from Whalefish. Will it get anything? No, it just zones Witherin, but Witherin has the positioning. Both 1% will find 8 seconds. Slimy goes 20. We'll get Ramataz, so 2 down, but Fancy has that whole hog, but the duplicate isn't quite there. The duplicate from Jack is there, but there's not enough people to follow him as Whalefish has already killed 3. On the Hanzo, the Bowmaster. And the swaps are coming through here. You used all 4 ultimates. 5 ults here, actually, if you're the MS guys. Raz is going to go over to the Mei. Is Mei the answer here? I don't know. You will almost have another Dragons as the whole hog is still there, and the window from Mufflumps. 2 minutes remaining. The swaps had to happen now in order to get a chance perhaps to get one more ult fight out of this. Well, you're feeling pretty darn good here so far if you're the Phiji Frog. No ticks given up. You have a lot of room to work with. Low 24/7 was forced to use the healing field early there in that fight, but Jack's gonna go down early again, and Fancy gets hooked in. Fancy might get punished here. Fancy gets the whale, gets the hook onto Wags, but will get taken down. And Mike, I mean, these early picks coming out here onto Jack are devastating for the attackers, and they're gonna go aggressive. They're gonna go further in here, looking for one more kill. Perhaps can they get the Rabbit flying very weak, but Raz will get healed by HP Sec. It's 1 minute remaining, and no ult aside from the Nano Boost to work with. If you are the MS guys, this could be a devastating hold for the Phiji Frogs. This would be huge. They have 3 ults to use. Oh, but Jack's gonna fall early in that fight, or Jack's gonna get the kill on the Whalefish early in the fight, but Whalefish will respond in time to throw those dragons right down main. Which is basically what you want to do anyway. The hook is there, but the hook from Fancy to save the teammate is there as well. The peel is immaculate. Here comes the dragons from spawn. It will split them up. Wags will be stuck, but they find Witherin. That's a huge source of healing gone here. Raz is just trying to poke down main. Fancy gets another hook here on the Whalefish. Wags won't get the hook. Fancy trying to stay alive on the point right now, but Jack going down. Did not have HP Sec for the healing. Raz will get the freeze onto Naga. Naga will get hooked as well, so Naga gets CC down to death. HP Sec can't get the Raz. It gets denied by Slimy Boy 20. Slimy Girl 20 has the beat high. Whew. Almost got canceled there. What goes up in the sky? 124/7 has the visor from high ground. Looking at kill. Fancy will go down to cool up and low 7, so the visor can't find anything. But Wags comes back here on the wrecking ball, but the Blizzards are for Taz. There's nothing to do. A cool place, 3 final balls. This could be it. This could be the clutch here coming here for those guys. Wags are coming back here on the wrecking ball or on the hog. Because gonna hook, not gonna find anything though. 1 tick, not quite claimed just as yet. Wags has, or Jack has the barrage. Looks to use it. Will find Asquatch, but low 1% comes back and gets that kill on the barrage. Farah not quite gonna get what he needs. But loves rest of the Mercy, but the Mercy gets the rest of the Jack. 2 ticks are given, and they can't touch. What a clutch from the MS guys. They lose one early and still manage to come back. Akua gets 3 final blows there towards the end.
Play of the game.
Huge plays coming out from them. That clutch gene is still there for our number 2 seed. Yeah, this is the final play of the game right there. Stops the tactical visor, as well as getting the kill on the Whalefish. The Blizzard from Raz locks down the point as well. Yeah, I said the Maid was not the pick. It really wasn't until that exact moment. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a 3-1 victory for the Emma Skies over the Phiji Phrogs. The Phrogs put up a pretty good fight, both 24/7, and a great debut performance for their new team. Just wasn't enough against our undefeated team. Now, I have sadly, the job to assign a match MVP. All of the Emma Skies played very well. So I wonder who I would give this to. It's pretty easy to say like a Fancy or a Kua. But you know what? I'm tired. I want to do an MVP interview. So I'm going to get to somebody who doesn't speak. HP, well done on the match today. No need to come in for an MVP interview. That's going to do it for us here at the Gopherwatch League. My throat is parched. I cannot go anymore. Thank you all so much for watching. 3-1 win for the Emma Skies or the Phrogs. Your playbackcaster Booney, your colorcaster Booney. Join me to pAiGe on the prod. Well done. Thank you for doing so. Hopefully, I have your ears out so far. Microphone for 2 straight hours. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here at the Gopherwatch League. So, if you want more Gopherwatch League action, make sure to follow us on the Twitch channel. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to join the Discord as well. Stay tuned for more Gopherwatch League Week 6 action, or Week 5 action, as we get ready for our playoffs. I've been Booney. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye, guys.